That was the room where Squall was like, no, do not talk about me in the past tense. Well, no, not like other people were already doing it, but like he didn't want that to happen ever. So here is what Recover does. It heals a number of hit points equal to the target's maximum hit points. In other words, it restores you to full.
Awesome.
So you know what will spoil the dramatic tension? Me getting lost. Which is exactly what I did. Well, eventually, or maybe it's soon, I decide to put on an ability that ensures that this doesn't take too long. The Encounter None ability. Which means that I will be able to roam around lost freely without encountering battles.
Oh, that's a nice advantage.
Yeah, there are certain spots where I like to use the ability just because, you know, I don't want to face battles at that time, or sometimes, you know, in this case, the session was going a lot longer than I thought it would. I'm like, great, how did I end up here? This is one of the guys that had the keys, and it wasn't the last key either. And now I'm just back in this maze of hallways. And suddenly I'm back in the ice rink again.
This thing's kind of good, but after a while it's like, oh, just end already.
Yeah, well, I started recording like around 8:50 or something this morning, and I was, you know, I usually start working out around 11, and I was thinking I would be able to start then, and then, no, the session went a lot longer than that. I thought I'd be recording for around 2 hours, it was more like 2.5.
That was longer.
Yeah, that's true.
My longest recording session ever was the last one for Xenosaga. It was like, it almost got to 4 hours. I felt bad for keeping Jen that long. But the last dungeon takes a long time in that game.
Like any game, it does take a longer than usual.
Well, but like, no, I did Hyrule Castle and Twilight Princess, and that took me like an hour and a half or so. And that was with, and maybe, you know, with some time added because I had technical difficulties, but still, it wasn't nearly as long as, you know, the one in Xenosaga. I think I'll be doing the final dungeon in this game in one session, too, but I will have the Encounter None ability set, so the only things I'll be fighting will be bosses. I just decided to look at some stats. Oh, I've walked almost 1 million whatever those units are. They're not steps, they're smaller than steps. In FF6, there is actually an ability that does damage based on the number of steps your party has taken throughout the game.
So sometimes walking can be useful in battle.
Yes, its damage is based on the number of steps you've done, and its MP cost is based on the number of on the amount of playing time.
Sounds similar to the Final Fantasy spell that you get from a chocobo. That's you get stronger the more times you run away from the battle.
And then in FF9 there's Zidane's last, or Zidane, whatever, his last special ability does damage based on the number of times you've successfully stolen things.
I see.
And
I remember that when I made Let's Play bits.
Sorry, what?
I said I remember that when I made Let's Play Final Fantasy 9.
You did make one, or you want to make one?
I'm planning to.
Yeah, that's like... I'm one of the strange ones. Most people either like FF8 or FF9. I like them both. Okay.
We're at the room with the fight.
Yes, this is the auditorium, which in Latin means place of hearing. So I just made sure that I was all healed and stuff. Now we get ominous chanting. What's going on?
Spooky, spooky.
Which I don't think this is actually considered a track in the soundtrack, so that's why I don't have any annotation up. Uh-oh.
She went splashy, splashy, and fell.
That's how you know she doesn't really care about this
So the time has
place.
come
Gratuitous
for the
property
legendary
destruction.
CD destined to bite me.
And stabby, stabby.
What's she talking about?
I must say I am impressed. An impressive nuisance.
Your
life ends
Edea
here,
just called
CD.
herself an impressive nuisance.
You're gonna get yours for insulting yourself.
Worthless fool.
Well, I know it's supposed to be.
You're not
call
our
it
matron.
Squall and Company impressive nuisance, but the way it's phrased, it sounds
All
like she might be.
CDs must perish.
No, you see, FF8 was the game where they started being smart about translations. They made the English and Japanese versions at the same time. So that's why, I mean, you'll notice that not only is the translation grammatically
The
correct,
sorceress's knight.
but the
You'll
language
never
it's used
get
is like,
past me.
it's the kind of stuff that you would hear actual English speakers say. Early in the game when Zell says, "Oh, you're all buddy-buddy with him now." Like, of course, we don't really hear people saying that these days, but back in 1999 when the game was made, that was, you know, a common expression.
I can't afford
Just stuff like that.
to lose.
So, Cypher apparently hasn't had enough yet. So let's beat him up some more.
He never has enough.
Okay, that is a hero. That item makes a character invincible for a short time. I just stole one of that. Yes, I have it. There is a certain card that you can refine to get a whole bunch of those. As you might expect, it is a rare card. Well, of course it has to be a rare card, otherwise that would imply that you can do it more than once. And get lots and lots of items that make you invincible.
And I'm going to break the game.
I mean, you can break this game, but they won't let you do it that obviously.
Of course.
But the way I'm going through this game is not like... I'm intentionally not breaking the game even though I could. Because it's more fun when you don't break the game.
Damn.
Well, not really.
What time of year?
Defeat.
135, 15,
Enough
16,
play.
17.
CDs must die.
Just thank you for reminding me.
Well, yes, so now we get to the real fight. Edea is not messing around. This spell cuts everyone's HP in half and curses everyone. First thing you want to do is draw Alexander, which is another GF.
Of course.
And I have no idea why she's using Dispel. None of us is under any spell effect. So fortunately she has Asuna, which you can draw from her to get rid of the curse. And since Curse does something different in every Final Fantasy game, I will point out once again that in this game it stops you from using your Limit Break.
Want to use them?
Yes, or we certainly want to have the option. And now she decides to go super cheap on us. That is the death spell. So that gives me an opportunity to use an item that I wanted to use. The Phoenix Pig. Now this is pretty cool. Phoenix Pinion summons a Phoenix. It is a very pretty Phoenix. Does fire-based damage to the enemy. More importantly, it revives fallen party members.
So it's basically like a story from Saber.
Oh yeah, I never... Oh, note this here. I was thinking Squall was gonna get killed again, but no, he is immune to ice.
Yeah.
Okay, so an important thing to note, though, is once you have summoned Phoenix by using a Phoenix Pinion, there is a small chance that when everyone is knocked out, the Phoenix will come and revive you.
Wow.
That's useful.
Sort of like Mickey in Kingdom Hearts 2. Except the Phoenix won't fight for you, it'll revive you. And apparently Edea is vulnerable to being put to sleep. I did not know this.
Very useful.
I mean, usually major bosses like this you don't think of as having status vulnerabilities, but she does. And because that was a limit break, that doesn't even wake her up. Okay, I'm making sure to steal from her before, yeah. And in this situation is like, do I use a limit break or do I restore hit points? So this time I decide to restore hit points. Yeah, if I'd remembered that she had death magic, I would have junction death to status defense for at least some characters. She casts slow on Squall, which basically puts Squall at normal speed. And then it's like, okay, you're gonna put multiple status effects on him. Alright, I'll just remove them both at the same time.
He does it.
I was gonna have Irvine cast it on Squall, and then Irvine got hit with it with the status effect too, so I was like, alright, I'll just have them heal each other.
Because they're bros.
No, I like it in Super Mario RPG where they have the little thank you thing that appears whenever someone heals someone else. Silly idea, don't you? Yes. And you can't blame him for doing that after what you did to him last time.
Yep. I wonder if that would work now. The ice
Okay, Royal Crown. That is that teaches a GF some pretty good ability. I forget which one exactly.
Good thing to have.
Okay, now time to empty a clip into her head or whatever.
And down goes the sorceress.
Whee! Oh, look at this. 50 ability points. 50. That's pretty good. Standard boss is like 20. And unfortunately, we won't get to see this new GF this session, but we will in later sessions. This is a holy elemental GF.
Heartless.
Ah! Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes, I'm continuing with my ironic theme. You know, I named Diablos someone who has said after someone who said he's a Christian, and I named the Holy Elemental GF after an evil creature. And something weird is happening. Looks like some weird stuff just came out of Edea, and now Rinoa is walking like a floating zombie.
And congratulations, you beat the second disc of Final Fantasy VIII.
What?
Ago.
The last one is significantly shorter than the first three.
Which is good.
But if you're doing side quests, then disc 3 is the longest. And she's apparently giving mouth-to-mouth to Cypher.
Oh, no.
Rinoa.
Don't feed the fanfiction
Cypher.
shippings, please.
Fanfiction shipping? It's not a fanfiction shipping. It's a real shipping. It just happens before the...
Well, I mean, fanfiction writers write too.
What I'm saying is you don't really have to stretch, and you don't have to stretch things at all. It's pretty much
Rinoa,
stated
you alright?
that Cypher and Rinoa had something going.
Quistis, Selphie.
But I thought... Oh, I see. The third wheel, I guess. And
Irvine,
Well, then
Zell.
presumably Rinoa realized that Cypher was a jerk.
We've all grown so much.
And now
and become
Edea
so
is
strong.
saying...
nothing makes sense anymore. I thought she was the villain.
I have waited for this day to come.
Yes,
and
you can
also
tell by
feared
the
this
music
day
that
would
she
come.
is not the villain.
Is today a joyous day
I'm sorry
or
we
an
made you
odious
up.
day?
And Squall's like...
Jerk to us.
Where is alone?
And Squall's
Am
like,
I protected
what?
alone?
We knocked some sense into it.
Don't understand. Or did we knock something else out of her?
It's Rinoa.
Rinoa? What's wrong with Rinoa? Yes, ponder what the hell happened to your friend.
And what the hell is happening now?
Well, now we're getting to the end of the disc.
So
And
it's been a year and we've finally gotten to disc 3. Wow.
no more than a year.
More than a year.
Alright, so yes, that is the end of disc 2, as you can tell by what it says on the save slot.
See you on disc 3.
Yes, Thinker2112 and
Right, let's...
AnniexoHoshi, bye bye.
over and out. Bye.